All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into something pretty amazing. What happens when thousands of years of mind body practice, traditions designed to master our inner world, what happens when they finally meet the tools of modern science? We're talking about this incredible intersection of ancient wisdom and cutting edge investigation. And this quote, it just perfectly captures what we're talking about today. I mean, for centuries, these practices were all about discipline, personal experience, right? But now, science is starting to unlock this ancient toolkit. It's like we're finally getting the user's manual and can see exactly how and why these techniques actually work on a biological level. Okay, so let's get some context here. We're talking about ancient texts like Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And these weren't just, philosophical ramblings. They were honest to goodness practical manuals, laying out a systematic, 8-step path for mastering the mind and body. It's a full-on roadmap, from physical postures all the way to the deepest states of meditation. And that's where things get really interesting today. What was once seen as purely spiritual is now being measured, tracked, and quantified in labs. We're literally talking about brain scans that show physical changes in the brain structure from meditation. We're talking about blood tests that show a drop in cortisol, that's your main stress hormone, after doing specific breathing exercises. Science is putting hard numbers to what these ancient traditions have claimed for millennia. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, and we're going to start with the most fundamental, most basic tool we all have, our breath. The ancient yogis had a name for it, pranayama, which kind of means life force control. And it turns out something as simple as how you breathe can make a massive difference. So just think about the difference between breathing through your nose versus your mouth. It seems so simple, right? But the physiological impact is huge. When you breathe through your nose, the air gets filtered, warmed up, and humidified. It's like a built-in defense system for your lungs. Mouth breathing, well, that just bypasses all of that. The air goes straight in, cold, dry, and unfiltered. But wait, it gets even cooler. Breathing through your nose isn't just about filtering. Your nose is basically a little biochemical factory. See, your sinuses produce something called nitric oxide, and this molecule is a superstar. It helps improve blood flow and gets more oxygen to your cells. Plus, nasal breathing directly taps into your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your rest and digest mode, the one that tells your body to calm down. So the nose isn't just a passageway, it's an active player in keeping you healthy and calm. And this is where you start to see just how deep this stuff goes. It's not just about breathe in, breathe out. There are advanced techniques like Nadi Shodhana, or what's known as alternate nostril breathing. The whole point of this is to bring an even greater sense of balance to your nervous system, maybe even helping to harmonize the activity between the left and right sides of your brain. Pretty incredible, right? Okay, so we've covered the body and the breath. Let's build on that and move to the mind itself, to practices like dharana, which is concentration, and dhyana, meditation. The ancient yogis were convinced you could train your attention just like you train a muscle at the gym. So, can you? What does the science say? And really, this is the core question, isn't it? I mean, we all accept that if you go to the gym and lift weights, you'll build muscle. It's a given. But can we apply that same logic, that same principle of disciplined practice, to our inner world? Can we actually train our focus, our awareness, and even how we respond to our emotions? Well, one of the main techniques for doing just that is called vipassana. And the goal here is surprisingly simple. You just observe reality as it is. You feel the breath coming in and out, you notice sensations in your body, and you do it all without reacting or judging. It's about developing this deep, steady awareness and a kind of inner balance no matter what's going on inside or out. And then you get to the really wild stuff, the practices that just sound like science fiction. Take Tumo, or inner fire meditation. This is an advanced Tibetan practice where monks have shown they can consciously raise their core body temperature. I'm talking enough to dry wet sheets wrapped around them in freezing cold weather. It's just a jaw-dropping example of how powerful the mind's influence over the body can be. So you hear about all these incredible claims, from balancing the nervous system to generating inner heat. How in the world do scientists even begin to study this stuff? Well, they're doing what they do best, applying a rigorous, systematic approach to figure out what's really going on under the hood. And they're basically looking at it from 3 angles. First, what are the mechanisms? How does it actually work on a biological level? Second, what are the benefits? What are the real, measurable positive outcomes? And third, and this is so important, what are the research gaps? What do we still not know? Because having that balanced, skeptical view is absolutely crucial. So let's see how this works in practice. Take pranayama, the breath control we talked about. A potential benefit is better cardiovascular health. That's amazing. But a key research gap is we don't really know the long-term effects yet. Or Tumo, the inner fire meditation. The benefit is this mind-boggling ability to regulate body temperature. But the research gap? Most studies have been on very small, specific groups of monks. We need to see if it works in more diverse populations. And for dharana, or concentration, the benefit seems to be enhanced mental clarity. But to really confirm it, we still need more big, randomized, controlled trials. It's a process of discovery, Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. What does all this mean for us living in the 21st century? What's the takeaway? It means we now have access to this incredible inner toolkit. And it's not just based on faith anymore. It's increasingly informed by real scientific evidence. And this is really where the rubber meets the road. These aren't just fascinating ideas to think about. The research is pointing to real-world applications for things that affect every single one of us. We're talking about a set of tools, backed by science, that you can use for managing stress, for improving your focus, for getting a better handle on your emotions, and just generally for enhancing your overall well-being. This is practical stuff. And that really leaves us with one final fascinating question. For centuries, we've pointed the tools of science outward to explore the deepest oceans and the farthest corners of the universe. Now, we're finally starting to turn those same powerful tools inward. As we continue to map this vast, incredible territory of the human mind, you have to wonder, what other human potentials are we about to uncover next?